Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Elisa Maria Designs. It's here. April. Ooh, April. Do you believe it? April. April. Were we just celebrating Christmas? What is going on? I switched to my dose matcha. I'm ready for cold drinks. You know, getting ready. I came in my room, going to put my cuticle cream on, and I will be back with, because I got so much to tell you guys. So much happened from yesterday. I didn't even get to my whole list of stuff for yesterday, and let me tell you, I got more stuff happened in 24 hours. It's crazy. Let me do this. I'm being sloppy. You know why? I didn't sleep. I had like 2 hours of sleep last night. I'm back to this goofy schedule, but it is what it is. So I'm going to rub this in. I'll be right back with Ranunculus, and we'll get started for my cousin Rachel. Okay, so the cream is in the cuticles. We got that done. Other thing off my list. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to be using for this canvas. There is a lot of background, so I'm so excited. I'm going to be using my Ditzy Diamond Den. This is like my entertainment. I get such a kick out of this. I can tell it's humid in this room because I can feel it, but my lipstick must be changing colors. I don't know if it does that. It's like that black honey. Okay, so I have that, and I have 2 pens. I'm going to do 1 wax and 1 putty because, again, of course, the weather is like, I can feel it. It's very humid in my room. Put the light up. Goodbye, Foofy. I can't have him in here. I'm shutting the door. I have guys downstairs working. They're always working in here. They're always working, and I feel like nothing looks different. But it's like, you know, we're putting in like a thermostat. We're going to have a smart house. He started with the light bulbs. Do I need an app to turn the lights on? Anyway, especially him. His phone's never charged. I don't know. I'm going to use my art dot because I think this is like good in high humidity, and I really only like the blue, as you know. So I'm going to be using the blue. Here, look, this is a, you know, I think this is a couple years old. So, yeah, it's not really sticky. You can reuse this. They tell you that when you clean out your putty, don't throw that putty away. It has one time that you can turn it with some new putty and put it back in. So let's do this. Yeah, a lot happened from yesterday. I already forgot what it was. I didn't get a chance to tell you guys a lot of stuff. Oh, I could tell you what happened. I went on the D-Stash sites. I went looking for help. This is a follow-up to yesterday from Tmall for DP with sparklers. And I said, if I'm only going to have 1 Sacred Heart, then I'm going to enhance her. I'm not going to take her out. And, you know, I have been, you know, stalking these D-Stash sites. And this girl, her name is Leanne, on one of the, I think it's D-Stash, those diamond paintings. Did I just see? Did I pick it up? And I don't know what I'm doing because I have no sleep in my body. I don't want to use that washi tape. Oh, don't let me get up and get washi tape. I'm going to use this washi tape. So I did, this girl Leanne, I can't use that washi tape. This girl Leanne was looking for a Christopher Level. She was looking for Fire Drake, and I thought I found it, and she said, unfortunately, that site is not a protected site, and if you're looking for something, don't click on it. You know, I'd be really careful. And I was like, oh wow, I thought I found it for you. I figured if I can't find my own, I'm happy that I found somebody else's. And she said, well, what are you looking for? I said, I'm looking for Sacred Heart. She got back to me this morning, and she's like, I found your Sacred Heart. It's on Macari. I said, oh my God, you're a doll. So she's looking for fire drink. So if anybody sees it, will you let me know? And I'll make sure that she gets it. Or you can go right on to de-stash those diamond paintings. So there's a few of them out there. So I think I'm going to put this head putty in it. And of course I'm going to have this. But when you guys, I'm going to be turning you off because I'm going to be diamond painting quietly. And then I come back and I read over what I've diamond painted. This is going to have wax. But this head. Putty on the bottom. Got to keep the putty in there. It's what you started with. They'll just repel one another and you'll be pulling your hair out. So, okay. All done. Are we locked? No. Now we're locked. That's done. And of course I'm going to use my Dreamer designs. I have tons of these. So she found my Sacred Heart. Bless her. So that one will be on a D-stash. And so I did get in touch with, this one looks dry. This one ain't looking as juicy. Might be too old. So when I got in touch with Tmall, she's like, I don't have that kit, so I really couldn't tell you, you know. But go on the Facebook page. Everybody's really great at helping. So that's what I did. And they were like, oh, you need a cheat sheet. I'm like, what's a cheat sheet? And they said, put your DMC code list up. So I'm going to do that. I just put the picture up, but I'm going to tell everybody, listen, I found my second painting. Please help. Please help me with ideas to do. And there's one girl on there. I was actually talking to Ange from Australia, one of my members. And she knows this girl. I think her last name is Sargent. And she does these incredible. Oh my God, is she talented. I think this one looks juicier. I'm going to leave this one out. Because you can stick it right on the diamond painting. Did I get the, oh yeah, I got it. So, yep, that happened. We got a second Sacred Heart. And she's, I ordered it right away. I'm like, oh my God, you're a doll. She's like, oh, good luck. I hope you come. I was like, I'm already cashing out. I'm already cashing out. It's already done. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to get to diamond painting. And here's my pens. Here's my tray. Got to just get the diamond painting out and we're ready to roll. My cousin Rachel. See you in a bit. Today is April the 1st, and we are beginning something new here at Elisa Maria Designs. A new canvas by Make Market called Ranunculus, and a new story, My Cousin Rachel by Daphne du Maurier. There's something I've always loved about beginnings. That quiet moment before anything fully reveals itself. Before we know what to trust, and before we know who to believe. As I started placing these first drills, I was thinking about stepping into my cousin Rachel, one chapter at a time. So, wherever you are, whether you're crafting, resting, or just listening, settle in and let this unfold. Chapter 1. They used to hang men at 4 turnings in the old days. Not anymore, though. Now, when a murderer pays the penalty for his crime, he does so up at the Bodmin after a fair trial at the Aziz. That is, if the law convicts him before his own conscience kills him. The Bodmin is a town and a parish in Cornwall, England, where this book is set. It is situated southwest of Bodmin Moor. Unease is a court, and it formerly sat at intervals in each country of England and Wales, and it administered criminal law. That is, if the law convicts him before his own conscience kills him. It is better so, like a surgical operation, and the body has decent burial, though a nameless grave. When I was a child, it was otherwise. I can remember as a little lad seeing a fellow hang in chains where the four roads meet. His face and body were blackened with tar for preservation. He hung there for 5 weeks before they cut him down, and it was the 4th week that I saw him. He swung between the earth and the sky upon the gibbet, or, as my cousin Ambrose told me, betwixt heaven and hell. Gibbet is a pole, kind of like if you've ever played Hangman. Yeah, it kind of looks like that. He swung between heaven and sky upon his gibbet, or, as my cousin Ambrose told me, betwixt heaven and hell. Heaven he would never achieve, and the hell that he had known was lost to him. Ambrose prodded at the body with his stick. I can see it now, moving with the wind like a weather vane on a rusty pivot, a poor scarecrow of what had been a man. The rain had rotted his breeches, if not his body, and strips of worsted drooped from his swollen limbs like pulpy paper. It was winter, and some passing joker had placed a sprig of holly in the torn vest for celebration. Somehow, at 7 years old, that seemed to me to be the final outrage. But I said nothing. Ambrose must have taken me there for a purpose, perhaps to test my nerve, to see if I would run away or laugh or cry. As my guardian, father, brother, counselor, as in fact my whole world, he was forever testing me. We walked around the gibbet, I remember, with Ambrose prodding and poking with his stick. And then he paused and lit his pipe and laid his hand upon my shoulder. "There you are, Philip," he said. "It's what we all come to in the end. Some upon the battlefield, some in bed, others according to their destiny. There's no escape. You can't learn the lesson too young. But this is how a felon dies. A warning to you and me to lead the sober life." We stood there side by side, watching the body swing, as though we were on a jaunt to Bodham Fair, and the corpse was old Sally to be hit for coconuts. "See what a moment of passion can bring upon a fellow," said Ambrose. "Here is Tom Jenkin, honest and dull, except when he drank too much. It's true his wife was a scold, but that was no excuse to kill her. If we killed women for their tongues, all men would be murderers." I wished he had not named the man. Up to that moment, the body had been a dead thing, without identity. It would come into my dreams, lifeless and horrible. I knew that very well from the first instant I had set my eyes upon the gibbet. Now it would have connection with reality, and with the man with watery eyes who sold lobsters on the town quay. He used to stand by the steps in the summer months, his basket beside him, and he would set his live lobsters to crawl among the quay in a fantastic race to make the children laugh. It was not so long ago that I had seen him. "Well," said Ambrose, watching my face, "what do you make of him?" I shrugged my shoulders and kicked the base of the gibbet with my foot. Ambrose must never know how I cared, that I felt sick at heart and terrified. He would despise me. Ambrose, at 27, was a god of all creation, certainly god of my own narrow world, and the whole object of my life was to resemble him. "Tom had a brighter face when I saw him last," I answered. "Now he isn't fresh enough to become bait for his own lobsters." Ambrose laughed and pulled my ears. "That's my boy," he said, "spoken like a true philosopher." And then he added, with a sudden flash of perception, "If you feel squeamish, go and be sick behind the hedge there. And remember, I have not seen you." He turned his back upon the gibbet and the four roads and went striding away down the new avenue he was planting at the time, which cut through the woods and was to serve as a second carriageway to the house. I was glad to see him go because I did not reach the hedge in time. I felt better afterwards, though my teeth chattered and I was very cold. Tom Jenkins lost his identity again and became a lifeless thing like an old sack. He was even a target for the stone I threw. Greatly daring, I watched to see the body move, but nothing happened. The stone hit the sodden clothing with a plunk, then shied away. Ashamed of my action, I sped off down the new avenue in search of Ambrose. Well, that was all of 18 years ago, and to the best of my recollection, I have not thought much of it since, until these last few days. It is strange how in moments of great crisis the mind whips back to childhood. Somehow, I keep thinking of poor Tom and how he hung there in his chains. I never heard his story, and few people would remember it now. He killed his wife, so Ambrose said, and that was all. She was a scold, but that was no excuse for murder. Possibly, being overfond of drink, he killed her in his cups. But how? And with what weapon? With a knife? Or his bare hands? Perhaps Tom staggered forth from the inn upon the quay that winter's night, all lit with love and fever. And the tide was high, splashing upon the steps, and the moon was also full, shining on the water. Who knows what dreams of conquest filled his unquiet mind? What sudden burst of fantasy? He may have groped his way home to his cottage behind the church. A pale, rheumy-eyed fellow, stinking of lobster, and his wife lashed out at him for bringing his damp feet inside the door, which broke his dream, and so he killed her. That might well be his story. If there is survival after death, as we are taught to believe, I shall seek out poor Tom and question him. We will dream in purgatory together. But he was a middle-aged man of some 60 years or more, and I am 25. Our dreams would not be the same. So go back into your shadows, Tom, and leave me some measure of peace. That gibbet has long since gone, and you with it. I threw a stone at you in ignorance. Forgive me. The point is, life has to be endured and lived. But how to live, it is the problem. The work of day by day presents no difficulties. I shall become a justice of the peace, as Ambrose was, and also be returned one day to Parliament. I shall continue to be honored and respected like all my family before me. Farm the land well. Look after the people. No one will ever guess the burden of blame I carry on my shoulders, nor will they know that every day, haunted still by doubt, I ask myself a question which I cannot answer. Was Rachel innocent or guilty? Maybe I should learn that too, in purgatory. How soft and gentle her name sounds when I whisper it. It lingers on the tongue, insidious and slow, almost like poison, which is apt indeed. It passes from the tongue to the parched lips, and from the lips back to the heart. And the heart controls the body, and the mind also. Shall I be free of it one day? In 40, in 50 years? Or will some lingering trace of matter in the brain stay pallid and diseased? Some minuscule cell in the bloodstream fail to race with its fellows to the fountain heart? Perhaps, when all is said and done, I shall have no wish to be free. And yet, I cannot tell. I still have the house to cherish, which Ambrose would have me do. I can reface the walls where the damp enters, and keep all sound and well and in repair. Continue to plant trees and shrubs, cover the bare hills where the wind comes roaring from the east. Leave some legacy of beauty when I go, if nothing else. But a lonely man is an unnatural man, and soon comes to perplexity. From perplexity to fantasy, from fantasy to madness. And so I swing back again to Tom Jenkin, hanging in his chains. Perhaps he suffered too. Ambrose, those 18 years ago, went striding down the avenue, and I in wake of him. He may well have worn the jacket I am wearing now, this old green shooting jacket with the leather padding on the elbows. I have become so like him that I might be his ghost. My eyes are his eyes, my features his features. The man who whistled to his dogs and turned his back upon the four roads and the gibbet could be myself. Well, it was what I always wanted, to be like him, to have his height, his shoulders, his way of stooping, even his long arms, his rather clumsy-looking hands, his sudden smile, his shyness at first meeting with a stranger, his dislike of fuss, of ceremony, his ease of manner with those who served and loved him. They flattered me. Who say I have that too? And the strength which proved to be illusion, so that we fell into the same disaster. I have wondered lately if, when he died, his mind clouded and tortured by doubt and fear, feeling himself forsaken and alone in that damned villa where I could not reach him. Whether his spirit left his body and came home here to mine, taking possession, so that he lived again in me, repeating his own mistakes, caught the disease once more and perished twice. It may be so. All I know is that my likeness to him, of which I was so proud, proved my undoing. Because of it, there came defeat. Had I been another man, agile and quick, with a deft tongue and a shrewd head for business, the past year would have been no more than another 12 months come and gone. I should be settling down to a brisk, contented future, to marriage, possibly, and to a young family. But I was none of these things, nor was Ambrose. We were dreamers, both of us, unpractical, reserved, full of great theories never put to test, and, like all dreamers, asleep to the waking world. Disliking our fellow man, we craved affection, but shyness kept impulse dormant until the heart was touched. When that happened, the heavens opened, and we felt, the pair of us, that we had the whole wealth of the universe to give. We would have both survived had we been other men. Rachel would have come here just the same, spent a night or two, and gone her way. Matters of business would have been discussed, some settlement arranged, the will read formally with lawyers round a table, and I, summoning up the position in a glance, have given her an annuity for life, and so been quit of her. It did not happen that way because I looked like Ambrose. It did not happen that way because I felt like Ambrose. When I went up to her room that first evening she arrived, and after knocking stood within the door, my head bent slightly because of the low lintel, and she got up from the chair where she had been sitting by the window and looked up at me. I should have known then, from the glance of recognition in her eyes, that it was not I she saw, but Ambrose. Not Philip, but a phantom. She should have gone then, packed up her trunks and left, traveled back to the place where she belonged, back to that shuttered villa, musty with memories, the formal terraced garden and the dripping fountain in the little court. Returned to her own country, parched in the midsummer and hazy with heat, austere in the winter under the cold and brilliant sky. Some instinct should have warned her that to stay with me would bring destruction, not only to the phantom she encountered, but finally to herself also. Did she, I wonder, when she saw me standing there, diffident and awkward, smarting with sullen resentment at her presence, yet hotly conscious of being host and master, and all too angrily aware of my big feet and arms and legs, sprawling, angular, an unbroken colt. Did she, I wonder, think swiftly to herself? Ambrose must have been thus when he was young, before my time. I did not know him when he looked like this, and therefore stayed. Perhaps that was the reason why, when I had that brief meeting with Ranaldi, the Italian, for the first time also, he too looked at me with the same shock of recognition quickly veiled, and playing with a pen upon his desk thought for a moment, and then softly said to me, "You have only arrived today? Then your cousin Rachel has not seen you?" Instinct had warmed him also, but too late. There is no going back in life. There is no return, no second chance. I cannot call back the spoken word or the accomplished deed, sitting here, alive and in my own home, any more than poor Tom Jenkin could, swinging in his chains. It was my godfather, Nick Kendall, who, in his bluff, straightforward fashion, said to me on the eve of my 25th birthday, a few months ago only, yet, God, how long in time. There are some women, Philip, good women, very possibly, who through no fault of their own impel disaster. Whatever they touch somehow turns to tragedy. I don't know why I say this to you, but I feel I must. And then he witnessed my signature on the document that I had put before him. No, there is no return. The boy who stood under her window on his birthday eve, the boy who stood within the doorway of her room the evening that she came, he is gone. Just as the child has gone who threw a stone at a dead man on a gibbet to give himself false courage, Tom Jenkins, battered specimen of humanity, unrecognizable and unlamented. Did you, all those years ago, stare after me in pity as I went running down the woods into the future? Had I looked back at you over my shoulder, I should not have seen you swinging in your chains, but my own shadow. Chapter. I remember seeing a picture of Daphne du Maurier in her Cornwall estate that she rented. She didn't spend her life there as she wanted. The previous owners wanted it back for their own retirement. And her pictures were always of her around her typewriter, and I'm picturing her clanking away this story in the du Maurier fashion. She hooks you and she leaves you with a hook. I'm already loving this story because there's something about this opening that stays with you. Not just the image of the gibbet. And while we landed on this word, I didn't know what a gibbet was, and I thought, well, let me tell my audience what it is. And would you like me to do that throughout the story, or would you like me to wait until the end? So let me know. But it's not just the image of the gibbet, the hangman pole, but the way it imprints itself on Philip from such a young age. Philip is introduced to death, and not gently, but as something final and undeniable. And Ambrose, his cousin, giving him that hard truth that we all die, just not in the same way. Ambrose tells him, here, this man, he's a felon. His wife was a scold, yes, but it didn't give him the right to kill her. And this is the way a felon dies. Some men die on the battlefield, some men die in their bed, but a felon will die this way. What struck me most wasn't just the man hanging there. And this is what stays with Philip. This is what he fights. It was not just a body hanging from the dead man's pole, the gibbet. Now we know who he is. He's Tom Jenkins. He was a man who was on the quay. It was the man who he had been before. We now know he was a man who sold lobsters, and he entertained children by putting them on the quay and letting them race. This was a man who had a life. He had a rhythm. He had a place in the world. And something happened. Something that turned that life, into a moment of violence, or so we're told. And it's a curiosity that Philip, his wondering was so beautiful. The way that he described what may have happened that evening. Did he have too much to drink? Was he full of fever and lust on a full moon when the tide was high? And did he go home to his wife who got angry that he was drunk, or angry that he smelled of lobsters, or that, he came into the home with his dirty shoes? And did he snap? And Philip begins to wonder, what brings a person to that point? I think specifically Tom Jenkins, this man who sold lobsters and made children laugh. There's also this deep, almost complete devotion Philip has for Ambrose. He isn't just guided by him. He admires him, and he becomes him. He thinks of him as brother and counsel and father. His entire universe, his entire world. And that kind of bond shapes everything that follows. And then we get a little glimmer of Rachel. Her voice, like a whisper on the lips. Just a whisper, but already a question. Did she or didn't she? We don't know what that question means yet. But I can feel. Can you feel that something has already gone wrong? Who was it? Rinaldi, that is like so taken back at the image of a grown Philip, 20 and 5 and 20, 25, that he's like, has Rachel seen you yet? Philip tells us that another man might have survived Rachel, but not Ambrose and not Philip. He describes them both as dreamers, and maybe even tying this back to Tom Jenkins. Was Tom Jenkins a dreamer? Walking home that night with a romantic moon and a high tide and love for his wife. And this beginning isn't just about a memory or a moment from childhood. It's about the shaping of a man who may already be walking towards something he won't be able to escape. And I think this is the beginning, chapter 1, and I think that it's already too late. Judging by the words of Philip, she should have left. He should have kept it to business. We don't know what happened yet. I'm actually biting my nails. If you're reading along with me or listening, I'd love to know what stayed with you in this first chapter. And if you want to go a little deeper, I would like to start a gathering over in Discord to talk through each chapter together, or maybe talk through, maybe not each chapter, but maybe once a month, once a week. I think we missed that with Rebecca. We did so much clanking and typing on the YouTube channel. And I love, reading all these different perspectives you all gave me. So much to think about. I mean, I had known the movie Rebecca, same author, that's why I'm bringing her up. I had known I didn't know Angel Street, and I will tell you, I enjoyed Angel Street, the movie, which you can find on YouTube, and even the reading of Angel Street by Vincent Price. Oh, I found him immensely so fit for the role of Paul Manningham. Yeah, so let me know. I mean, I know summer's here and spring's here and everybody's, running out the door, and, the days are getting longer and the nights will be shorter and the kids will be home. Let me know. Let me know how you feel about Discord. I think I do need to create a new code for Discord. So if you'd like an invitation, let me know and I will have one ready for you. So a little bit about this diamond painting. I don't know how much I'm going to put in. I did a little when I was done with this diamond painting. When I was done with this part that I was diamond painting, I did come on camera. I looked a little misty. It was a little humid in here, and these drills are like the flat nonpareils that you see on those dark chocolate candies, and they're a little slippery, and the glue in some parts was not as tacky as I would have liked. The wax was great, but the putty did not hold up, so I got rid of that rather early. I am not finishing this square here. I literally took a break. John came in with Foofy, and he said, one of my friends just called me, and they got an extra ticket to the Phillies game. And then he texted me and said, put on the TV. I'm sitting right behind the bat, where they're right, every pitch you'll see me. And I was like, okay, let me put on the TV. And there he is. And he's like, do you see me? Do you see me? I said, yeah, I see you. He said, I'm going to stand up, take off my hat, and tell you that I love you. And he did. And I was like, oh my God, how cute. And then my son came over and he's like, Mom. I'm like, yeah. He's like, did you get my pictures? I'm like, no, Josh, what did you send me now? He said, oh, here, let me show you. He thought he was going to show me like John at the game. He was watching the game. He's like, that looks like John. And I'm like, yep, it's him. He's at the game. He's like, this guy, how did he get at the game? I'm like, his friend called him up and he couldn't make his show. So he was like, John, want to come to a game with me? So they're sitting right behind home base. I guess that is right. I love baseball too, but I'm such a girl. I really don't know. And the way things go, I know you run around these bases and then you got to tag them. Got to hit it with your foot. So, but I love the game. It's like the only sport that I really love. And so here we are. We're getting ready for chapter 2. And I did look at chapter 2. It's rather long. And I didn't know if I was going to have enough time to really wrap up chapter 1 and then go into chapter 2. We really don't. It's long. So get ready for a long one of chapter 2. And I think what I'm going to do is I did an opening, like a little chat in the beginning. I'm going to look at my closing again, and if it seems pertinent that I give it to you, I will. Or if I have this extra time, do you just want some music at the end? I think you guys really enjoy music. So you know what? I'm going to put the music. This is the way I roll here at Elisa Marie Designs. I'm going to put the music, and then if you're interested in what my thoughts are at the end of the music, you can go into it, or you could just, forget it and just be like, oh, I'm over it, So I will see you for chapter 2. I'm very excited. So it will be happening, I am sure, very, very soon. Keep creating that world that you want to live in. And I will see you in chapter 2. Bye. painter that thought that color blocking was easy. I think that there's that misconception that if you go for color blocking, it's easy. I learned that the hard way when I did Lady in Hat with Feather Boa, and she had a feather black 310 feather boa around her neck, which was like maybe about, I don't know, over 40 rows, because I just, her right there. Her. Do you see all the black on her? Yeah. So I learned that, went in with the misconception that, oh, bunch of color blocking. And right now I'm sitting here and it looks like there's a little bit left, but I know it's going to take me like another hour just to cut through this. And I thought, no, I'm not doing this to myself. I will finish this block on my own. And the next time we diamond paint this portrait, it's going to be not, I will do the background by myself, because the drills are so flat and they're slippery and it's humid and it's, the putty was a no-go. The wax, same thing. But I think what I'm going to do, like one of these nights that I get up and I can't sleep, is just put on my e-pen and do a patchwork. It's a big section of color blocking in the background. And this is something like, this will put me back to sleep. It'll be kind of meditative. So if we are already reading and I have a couple of questions, then this is the end of the video. Or yeah, I'm going to think about where I'm going to put this one section in at. But I haven't read yet. And so I'm like, I'm running out of steam. I have to read yet and edit this and then go back and read. So yeah, this is not happening right now. The red. And this is a bigger than a 10 by 10. The other thing that I like about these Art Dot aligners is that this is actually 10 centimeter. I say it all the time. I don't think Art Dot realizes that. If they did, they never said, oh. So maybe it's, that would be 4 inches. This is like 6 inches here. So 4 inches is 10 centimeters. So that would be 10 centimeters. And then that would be 10 centimeters. And this would be the block that I should have cut out for myself. But of course, I got overly ambitious and said, that should have been the block that I cut out for myself. I got overly ambitious and I said, oh God, it's all color blocking. Let me just do it. Like I totally forgot what I learned, right? As usual. These little guys, if you're looking at these little teapots here, these are actually things that go on top of your door jamb. You decorate the top of it. I wouldn't do that. I just looked, they were so adorable, and I knew that I wanted this for like my reading book, just to use as a decoration, because they're really not doing much of anything else. They're so cute though. Okay, let's get to my cousin Rachel. See you in a bit. Had to reload on the matcha.